Okay, I want to make a hopefully quick video for parents who are brand new to homeschooling. You've decided, okay, we're done. We are pulling out of the traditional model of school, whether it's public or private, and we are doing this. But now you say, I have no idea what to do. What am I doing? And you're asking fellow homeschool parents just to tell you, what do I do? I wish it were that easy. I wish we could just all, tell you, but then you would quit pretty quick. So here are 3 things that I suggest to every new homeschooling family. I've written blogs about this, but I'm hoping a video will be a quick rundown of the basic answers I always give. First thing is you have to intimately know yourself and know your students, your kids. The second thing is homeschool is not school at home. So do not try to recreate the classroom in your home. You'll crash and burn and you'll both hate it. The third thing is create Sabbath margin. Okay, so I'll try to stick to those 3 things. First thing, know yourself. I've always done the Myers-Briggs personality type starting back in college. That's when I did it. So I know my personality type. It's called Nurture by Nature by Barbara Tieger. It's Barbara and somebody, forget the name, Tieger. Every time I loan that book out to someone, I never get it back. So I finally stopped buying copies because, it's a really good book. You should buy probably more than 1 copy because someone else is going to want it. It will help you figure out your kids' personality types. When you know what makes them tick, if they're extroverted, introverted, and that doesn't mean shy or outgoing. It is so much more than that. If you know what frustrates them, what settles them, you can learn how to scaffold their education in a way that is targeted to them and make everybody feel successful. If you know yourself, you will plan a homeschool environment that is sustainable and will not make you run away with your hair on fire and not make you quit 6 weeks in. The easy thing is just tell me what books to read, tell me what to do, tell me what co-op to use. However, if I tried to recreate a few of my friends' homeschool lives because what they're doing is awesome and their kids are really successful, or what I feel is a successful homeschool, if I just tried to take their stuff and I tried to do it, I would crash and burn pretty quick because it wouldn't fit me and I wouldn't have created a sustainable homeschool model that will last us through the years, because this is a long haul sort of thing, right? This is where you need to look up, this is a website I'll send you to, if you just Google simply convivial homeschool personality, it will lead you to a ton of beautiful research of an amazing homeschool mom. She has listed out every single Myers-Briggs personality type and explains how you homeschool. And when I read it, I was like, this is what I already do. Like, I already was naturally playing to my strengths. Now, I am a certified public educator in the state of Texas. You do not need to be a certified educator to homeschool your kids. Actually, it's more of a hindrance to me because I've had to unlearn a lot of the training, because most of my degree, it's not all this magical knowledge. It's classroom management. I'm a manager of small people in the education system, right? So if someone comes at you like, oh, you don't have a teaching degree, okay, not a big deal. But here's your permission from someone who does have a certified teaching degree. De-school your kids. Now, this is not the same as unschool. When you both leave the traditional model and you come out of, you have to be up at this time, you have to be out of the house, you don't get home until 3:30, 4:30, 5:30, depending on after school activities, then you eat dinner, you do your extracurriculars, you do your homework, you take a shower, and you go to bed. You're coming out of that lifestyle to a certain extent. You need to calculate the number of years that your kid has been in that system. Let's say you've been in the traditional model for 4 years. You take that many months to de-school, meaning you decompress. You let them sleep in to recover from sleep, and you ease into a day and you come up with a routine that is sustainable. I know a lot of people will not do that because it sounds like a waste of time. If you do the de-schooling method, maybe you just take 1 month, but this is when you, as a parent, you figure out your personality type, Your kids' personality types, guess what? If you have more than one kid, they're probably going to be polar opposites. And so you have to figure out how to scaffold things for each child. You don't want to buy curriculum until you know it's going to fit your own educational model, your mission, your vision, and your goals. If you can get a hold of Pam Barnhill's Plan Your Year, that will help you come up with a vision, mission, and goals. Because if I were to buy a bunch of curriculum or join a bunch of co-ops without having gone through my mission, vision, and goals, I would realize this is not a good fit. I've wasted money, I've wasted time, and we need to quit for our own sanity. So that's what that deschooling time will help you do, so that you're not just pulling out of school, jumping into trying to sit 6 hours a day at the kitchen table, which leads me to point number 2. Homeschool is not school at home. Most of what I did as a classroom teacher, I say most, let's go with, half. It was classroom management. I had some kids that did not want to be there, and they would make sure that they would derail class as often as possible. We had passing periods. If they go from one to another, there's a big transitional period. I can't find my pencil. I can't find my backpack. I need to go to the bathroom. I am doing all of these things and taking attendance and preparing absent work for the kids who aren't there. And then what I'm left with is educational, instructional time. It's not much. And then in the midst of that instructional effort, I'm still playing behavioral whack-a-mole, okay? Your kids dealt with that, and they're a product of the system. It is what it is. I had about, give or take, 30 students about 6 times a day my last several years of teaching. It is what it is. That's the system. At home, you're not going to have to deal with all of that. It is very possible and plausible that for younger kids, you're done within a few hours, or you're done within a couple of hours, or if they're really small, they're done in 1 hour. And that's okay, and there's nothing wrong with that, but you need to plan and prepare for what that time is going to look like. Do they have ADD, ADHD, diagnosed or undiagnosed? Maybe they work for 15 minutes and they go play for 20, and then you come back and then you read another book, or you do a little bit of handwriting and then they go play for 20 more minutes, and then they come back and they do 15 more minutes of work. That's why you must know your kid's personality, because if you try to give them a stack of workbooks or an online-based curriculum and you set them in front of a laptop for several hours, it's going to be awful for everybody if that doesn't fit their personality type, if that doesn't fit your mission, vision, and goals. So don't try to hold yourself to a public education, private education, traditional education model. It doesn't translate to the home, and you will hate it if you try. Which leads to number 3, create Sabbath margin. You are going from a very regimented day that is hours and hours and hours to now you're in charge of regimenting, of scheduling what this successful, life-giving homeschool is going to look like. I would highly suggest that you read Sarah McKenzie's Teaching from Rest. Whether or not you are a Christian and you ascribe to Sabbath margin or the idea of rest on the 7th day that God rested, planning your homeschool day, week, month, year on a model that builds in Sabbath margin will save your sanity and make it a sustainable, life-giving process. Another book I want you to read is Awaking Wonder by Sally Clarkson. Awaking Wonder by Sally Clarkson. It will show you how, this kind of speaks to number 2, that homeschool shouldn't be a form of school at home. It is a beautiful way of, you can read books and you discuss those books with your kid and you create a love of learning that will lead to your kid can teach themselves anything they need to know by the end of it. I would caution against joining every co-op, enrichment activity, forest school, library class. They exist. It is very possible to be busier as a homeschooler than it was as a traditional schooler, because now, especially post-COVID, it's a more normalized thing, and people are, creating classes, or there's more opportunities opening up. So do not sink your money into a co-op if it is not going to fit your educational model. I see this year after year. Parents pull their kids out, they freak out, we have to do something, and they join the classical model that I've been part of since my kids were both like 4 and 2. We love it. We don't plan on leaving. I am very much a classical and Charlotte Mason, marriage of those types. If you have no idea what that means, that's another reason that you get to know yourself. You get to know all the different models out there so that you're not making yourself a square peg in a round hole. I see every year women, especially, are being pressured by the dad. They'll be like, you've got to put them in something, or you've got to do something. And so they just join whatever their friend or a friend of a friend has been in, and they quit within 6 weeks because they had no idea what they were getting themselves into. I love the classical model because it is almost the complete opposite of the traditional model. And it's beautiful and it's amazing and it focuses on truth, goodness, and beauty. And look, I love it so much. I have a t-shirt, right? It's not for everybody, or it's not for everybody if you don't understand it is on purpose designed to be different, because it's the ancient method of education that educated differently in a way that sticks versus the traditional model, which was an industrial revolution product of that era. So do not say, where's the co-op? Where are the classes? Where are the university model schools? Until you know who you are as a homeschooler, your personality type, know who your kids are, what's going to make them tick and what's going to frustrate them, because you can waste hundreds and hundreds of dollars on enrichment activities, co-ops, and curriculums, and that you are just left with stuff, wasted time and wasted money. So really do your due diligence to learn the soul care of your kid and yourself. Do not recreate or put that pressure on yourself to try and recreate school at home. That's not homeschool. And create Sabbath margin. It is very possible to overwhelm yourself with activities and co-ops, and it makes you want to cry and everybody's stressed out and you're not having fun. So you have to protect that quality time that is a beautiful gift as a homeschooling family. So good luck.